Today, Telifox will be teaching you how to install a few programs and tools that are common on Windows devices. So let's begin. The first thing that we want to do is install an antivirus. One good antivirus is Clamtk Anti-Virus. And this allows you to install it for free. So we type in sudo apt install and the program name. And this will ask you if you want to install the program. You go ahead and select Y. Alternatively, you could always use the -Y parameter to automatically accept the question of installing the program. Once it's complete, we have the terminal antivirus. However, we could actually expand the control ability of the antivirus by installing the GUI form. So the GUI representation of this antivirus is Clamtk virus scanner. And the command to install that is sudo apt install Clamtk. So we will do that in just a moment. Okay, so next we install the following: sudo apt install Clamtk. And this is the GUI representation of the antivirus program that we just installed. So we select Y for yes, installing the program. And then after the installation is complete, we could go ahead and add it to our favorites. Okay, the process is complete. We go to show applications, and then we just add the new program to our favorites. So let's see. Scroll up here. Clamtk. We right click, add to favorites. And go ahead and open up the program. It's fairly self-explanatory. It's like any other antivirus, but it's geared for the Linux system. So you have the settings, whitelist, network, schedule. You could quarantine devices, quarantine files. It'll have a history. You could do updates on the definition of the antivirus, along with scanning files, scanning directories. So you won't have to use the command line to scan each file and directory. You can do it right here inside of this program. So inside the settings, you could scan for certain kind of security breaches. So for example, we could scan directories recursively. We could scan files larger than 20 megabytes. We could scan files beginning with a dot, and then scan for PUAs. And so we go ahead and select that, go to back. We can whitelist certain directories that we do not want to be scanned. So for example, if we have a directory that we know for a fact we don't want to scan, we add the directory here. We could also do proxy setting, environment settings, or set manually. So we'll leave that blank. The scheduler, we could actually add a schedule to the antivirus. So we could have it scan every day. We could have it scan the computer every hour. That would be up to you and your administrator policies. You have history, which basically shows a history of all your quarantine files and any kind of infected virus files. And then you have the capability to quarantine certain files and restore certain files that were put into the quarantine list. And then you could update and then scan file or scan directory. The next useful program is CPU-X. So it's similar to CPU-Z for Windows. It tells you your CPU information, your motherboard information, your RAM information, your graphics information. So it's very important to find out what's on your system and what's compatible with your system by using CPU-X. We install that by typing in the following: sudo apt install CPU X or CPU-X. So we'll try the first one. If that doesn't work, we try this. With Ubuntu 20.04, users could actually install the CPU-X program with the sudo apt install command. However, this is an older version of Ubuntu. This is the Bionic Beaver version. I think this is 18 point something. So it's a little bit older, so we actually have to download it from a website. So I'll go ahead and link that website in the description. So what we have to do is we have to download the wget directly from the GitHub. Fairly self-explanatory. The GitHub is an official repository for the CPU-X code and commands, so we just download it directly from their GitHub website. To install the CPU-Z tool, we need to type in the following command. So we're using wget directly from the GitHub from CPU-X, and it's their download page. Press enter. Alright, and then once we download, we want to change the permissions. And there you go. Now we can launch the program by double clicking it inside of the app image file. And so it should be now located in the programs. If we scroll down here, scroll back up, let's see. Okay, so if we go to the programs and we search out CPU, we have the CPU app image right here. So it's at home, system administrator. Go ahead and double click that file. And we want to run. So we click on run. And as you can see, this is the program right here. And we should be able to add it to our favorites. Let's see if we can do that. So unfortunately, we cannot add it to our favorites, but what we could do is we could copy this to the desktop. And we could launch it from the desktop. So let's try one more time. Okay, so after we launch the program, as you can see, we have the statistics of our computer. We have the CPU information, the type of package, the specification, the family, the clock speed. We have the caches. Then we have the information on the motherboard. Because this is not running directly on the gigabit motherboard, it's not going to display what kind of motherboard it is. So it's just saying VirtualBox, but on a real computer or server, you would see your motherboard there. Then you have your system, the uptime, you have your graphics, along with your memory information. So this is good to find out if your system's compatible for an upgrade or a certain program by looking at the CPU specifications and the motherboard. The last program we want to install is BleachBit. We can do that by doing sudo apt install BleachBit. And it's going to ask us if we want to install the program. We select yes for install. And it will go through the process. Usually it takes about 2 minutes. Once the program installs, we just go to the software area and we select BleachBit, add to favorites, and we open up that program. Now we could select the preferences. From here we could always change the preferences, but as you can see, it's very similar to CC Cleaner. You would do a clean or a preview. It would go through all the specifications. It would look through every single one of these. And then it would clean it out. So just be aware, this is very good for a system that you want to clean up every once in a while, every year, every 3 months, to ensure that your system is optimal and running healthy. Usually this is only for systems that have a lot of file downloading history. Because this is a server, You probably wouldn't want to use BleachBit too much because there won't be a lot of programs downloaded, there won't be a lot of internet searches going on this specific device. But if it was an end user or a desktop, you would use it the same way you use CC Cleaner on a Windows computer. So that's the 3 programs that makes Ubuntu server a little bit more robust and secure. If you like this video, please like, and don't hesitate to contact Telifox for all your consulting needs. You have a good afternoon.